Hello, everybody. Apparently, a dog is attacking my wife. Is he good? Hi. What are you doing, bud? Hi. I don't want kisses. Welcome, everybody. My name is Ryan Ozzy Smith. This is Angela Yuriko Smith, and this is Chupacabra, the Chihuahua, who apparently needs some love right now because it's a little bit cold in the area that we're in. Welcome to
There he
another
goes.
another installment of the Space and Time podcast
Yep.
thingamajog that we're doing on issue 152.
Yes.
That is our focus right now. You're welcome to show it.
Well, this is not 152, but I do want to do a little show and tell of look what we just got in the mail. It does take us a little longer to get print copies here in Brazil. So really super excited to get, finally, this was the first of the monthly. And it's so full of things I want to change, but moving on. We've learned some things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the layout and everything like that, and
Mhm.
that was a little bit funky and a little bit interesting. But
Yeah.
why have you got a carrot?
Oh, so show and tell. This is a carrot in Brazil. So I showed you the magazine that we got in Brazil. Look how
Right.
huge that is.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you give a carrot nutrition.
Well, yeah. I still think that the avocados are crazier.
Oh yeah, we'll get an
Like, because
avocado
the
to show next week.
avocados are like
They're the size of my head.
or bigger. Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So I cut one of these up for lunch today, and it was like carrot cookies. Like they were like,
Yeah.
so.
There's nothing wrong with carrot cookies, the healthy version. All right, so what are we talking about today? What issues, oh yeah, okay, here we go. I'm looking at the information now, and then it
Yeah, we've
disappeared.
got two stories as usual. I mean, that's the point of this. We'll have two stories and two poems to talk about from this issue.
Yes.
And today we're talking about
Raid on Rockfall by Lixin?
I read that as
Lixin
Lixin.
Lixin Foo.
Lixin Foo.
The Fall of King Shedim by
Mhm.
Maxwell I. Gold. Floating Shift by Mark Leslie. And To the Unmasked Self by Michael Bailey. So let me go ahead and grab this and put this over here, and then grab this and put it up here.
Ah, Gordon just joined us. Gordon, you missed
Oh,
the
Gordon.
carrot, the whole carrot dialogue, the giant carrot.
I kind of feel like I don't want to bring the webcam back up for the carrot and how freakishly big it is. And yeah,
There we
okay.
go.
Wonderful. I still don't know why you brought it. Anyway,
Do not ask questions.
alrighty. So, what are we doing?
Well, first we're going to talk about Raid on Rockfall, which, oh gosh, this is like one of those things where you don't want to give away spoilers.
Uh-huh.
So Lixin takes something that we all see, a very ordinary thing, something that all of us, doesn't matter where you are, have probably seen and are very familiar with this story, except she frames it in a different way, so that the meaning will start unpeeling for you, which is a lot of them that I find when I don't know what's going on at first,
Yeah.
but then I'm like, oh my gosh, the turn, those are my favorites.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of, it does have like a reveal moment, but I mean, you can't really anything, I don't know, the Queen's front legs halted in their daily grooming of her thorax. I don't really think, and that's like the third line down. I don't think once you say
Well,
mandibles or thorax, it's
but that
kind of
could be on Mars. You know what I mean?
well,
Or
yeah,
hey,
but
Yumi's parlor.
welcome. I feel like something like that is definitely bringing you out of the normal
Oh yeah.
situation. But so I wouldn't really say it's a spoiler to say this is about ants. Oh
Yeah.
no. Or it's more about how it's written in my mind. And I really love those kind of medieval
Yeah.
I guess it's medieval high fantasy feel to it. For me, my favorite part of this story was the verses that
Yeah.
each group say, and how it is very much a collective whole, and everybody within the colony is
Yeah.
important. And we can't survive without this, and we
Yeah.
can't survive without this, and that to me was like, oh man, that's like pumping me up,
Yeah.
for the style of story.
Yeah, very much about the community and how everybody has to kind of depend on every part has to do their own part.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, really, really great story.
Hmm.
And for anybody out there that's ever played Hollow Knight, a video game from Australia, it gave me those vibes, which
Oh
is kind
yeah.
of like a medieval dark fantasy
Yeah.
vibe of that style of thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if you're into that sort of stuff, definitely check out Raid on Rockfall.
Yeah, and I like that the Queen Mother has this wonderful, I think, kind of like very pertinent for today.
Yeah,
This realization of like the warring faction, the faction that they have to defeat, and of course they're in their righteous, right?
yeah,
Like my team is the righteous one that should win. But is the other team also praying to the ancestral goddess for
yeah.
favor? Like, you know what I mean? That realization of we're doing war and we're doing it for righteous reasons, but that moment of questioning herself,
Yeah,
you know?
and see that's the biggest unfortunate thing about most, say, like holy wars or anything
Hmm.
like that, is if you have that zealotry, generally people aren't going to have that moment of realization,
Yeah,
especially up in the higher like
yeah,
levels. Like maybe in the lower levels, if you're talking about like the Knights Templar and stuff like that,
hmm,
they did something very similar. They thought holy war and
yeah,
all that, and a lot of them broke away because they were like, "Whoa, this is not what it was supposed to be."
hmm,
So it's interesting to throw that part in it as well,
yeah,
and I wish that it was, yeah, more open to
yeah,
seeing it from another perspective.
yes. Perhaps our world leaders could do some self-reflection.
Yes, hint, hint. Um, So yeah, really, really awesome story. We
Yeah,
both enjoyed it
yeah,
a lot, and it was, yeah, just a different style
hmm,
to a lot of the others that we've
yeah,
had.
yeah. And she had me at ants because I do love ants and bugs. I'd probably in another life be, now I forgot what they're called, the people, entomologist. In another life, I could be an entomologist, but I am a writer instead.
Playing around with bugs and stuff.
Yeah, I love bugs.
Yeah. All right. So Lixin Foo is a Singaporean Chinese writer. Her historical flash fictions have been nominated for Best Microfiction and the Pushcart Prize, and longlisted twice for the Ink of Ages Fiction Prize, among other places. More of her work can be found in Indie Bites, Myriad, and Hexagon Zine. And what is that?
Crepuscular magazine. I
Crepuscular
love that
magazine.
word.
Yeah, I was
Crepuscular.
Crepuscular magazine.
You have to say it with an accent, though.
Cra-
Crepuscular.
Is it a roll? Like a
Yeah, yeah.
crepuscular?
I'm gonna say we should roll that
Crepuscular
R.
magazine. So yeah, definitely check out Lixin Foo.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the side notes. Sorry, my socks keep squeaking because they have rubber on the bottom.
Okay.
One of the side notes. This story was actually sent for the last submission call, and I can't even remember. Light the beacons was the theme,
Hmm.
and it was so perfect for this issue that I asked Lixin if we could have it for this issue instead.
Hmm.
So sometimes it does happen. Try to pay attention to the themes, but sometimes if the next theme is just perfect,
Yeah.
and it's a really great story from a new perspective, which
Yeah.
Ant War,
Yeah.
fantasy Ant War is pretty fantasy alien Ant War.
I wouldn't say alien.
Well, that's when I first started reading it. That's what my
That was your
mind
vibe.
went to, was like, oh, we're on an alien planet. Da, da, da,
Right.
da. Which, really, an ant hive would be an alien planet. If you got dropped down there and you were
No.
a couple millimeters tall, you would
No,
think you were.
I
Yeah.
disagree. Okay. All right. The Fall of King Shedim.
Yep. This one, I actually did some research. At first, I was kind of like, oh, it's pretty on the surface, pretty explanatory. There's a king, and he's overthrown, and the person that has overthrown him is now like basically the ruler of the universe, which I kind of took at first. Oh, so now you're the bad guy
Uh-huh.
because you have just replaced the bad guy. But then I did a little research and found out that Shedim is. Let me just actually pull it open because I was like, I thought it was really interesting, and I just looked this all up.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, what is Shedim? Like, who is King Shedim? And so it's the Hebrew plural, and please forgive me for everything that I'm mispronouncing, but it's the Hebrew plural for demons, basically. and the singular of that would be Shed. So the figure would traditionally be called the king of Shedim, or the king of the demons, which is Asmodeus, which is named in this poem.
How is it?
I want to say Amadeus, but I know it's not that.
I feel like it would be Osmodeus. Yeah, Asmodeus.
Dios, could be.
Yeah, Asmodeus.
Okay, so Asmodeus.
Because it's Dios, like the Latin.
Like the god, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And see, I was thinking deuce, like
a poo.
No, like deuce, anyways. So, we don't say poo when we're being intelligent.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm kidding. But anyway, so Asmodeus.
Asmodeus.
Asmodeus. And you can tell us in the chat which one of us was pronouncing that correctly, or neither.
Yep.
It could be neither. Anyways, he is the ruler of demons. So basically, the ruler of Yetzirah, or Hara, which is also in this poem, which I had to look up, is like a selfish inclination, like kind of like the influence of demons. Being a selfish, destructive inclination. Yeah. So if you read it like that, then King Shedim is overthrowing your selfish nature, your inclinations. And so then when you can do that, then the universe is yours. So my understanding of the poem with that kind of went from, oh, well, now that person's the bad guy. The speaker is now the bad guy because they've replaced the bad guy.
Right.
To, oh, well, once you defeat your selfish inclinations in yourself, then the universe is yours.
So you're not technically the bad guy.
Yeah.
You're finding Zen,
I
guess, in that respect, or becoming a better person.
Yeah, you've defeated the fake muse, I guess.
Because that is kind of the thing, right? Is you either, like the classic Batman quote, you either die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, which I really like as a quote. But yeah, and that's how so much of that happens in the world. You have to become as bad as the monster to beat the monster, and then you're the new monster. Whereas, if it's internal struggle and to destroy the evil is by being good. Yeah. Or and very few things are kind of like that in society. Yeah. But like if you can put out positivity and get rid of the selfish nature of yourself, then positivity flows. I like it.
That's why I love picking apart the poems sometimes. And big shout out to Linda D. Addison, who picks all our poetry for us. She's awesome. Sometimes when you pick them apart, then another meaning will reveal itself. So I was really glad that I kind of dug in there and
looked
Googled
further.
Some of that. And
Googled. Yeah, you don't really Google anymore.
You were very excited about this story.
Oh yeah. I really, really liked this story, Floating Shift by Mike Leslie. So I think the reason that I enjoyed this story, like there's a few things that I really, really enjoy with writing, and it's one of the reasons that I love your writing specifically. It's because of how atmospheric it is. It doesn't really matter about the main protagonist. It doesn't matter about who are we talking to? Like, oh, it's John. He lives down the street. He has 6 teeth. He smells like beer. Like, you don't need to know so much physicality about a character. Yeah. The atmospheric feel of it, for me, I really enjoy that style of writing. And that's what Mark Leslie did with this. Is I came into it and it was foggy and it was damp and it was uncomfortable, and you're inside a bar that's warm and nice, and then all of the other things start kind of rolling in. And there was just enough the description with the characters to make you obviously understand what was going on. But then I also kind of fell in love with it as well because of I'm like, oh, Angela would so do this. Like, it's a typewriter and somebody's giving it away. Okay. And absolutely.
Could it be a cursed typewriter?
Did you say like a scary little rhyme and then hand it to me and then say
as your hands are shaking?
And then when I touched it, you like a little drop of blood came off and it like signed on a letter and you went, "Thank you very much." And then you walked away. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Yes. free typewriter. So I 100% 100% saw you as this, but
give me your cursed typewriters. I will take them.
Yeah, but like this story, yeah, just everything about it flowed so well. It made me feel a lot of different emotions during the step by step of the story. And for me personally, this is one of the better, I would say the tighter focus on fake news
Mm-hmm.
of all the stories.
Yeah, he
Is
nailed it.
it's just so perfectly selected for this particular
Yeah.
prompt,
Yeah.
and he actually said fake news in there, so
Yeah.
that was in there. So or Muse, I don't know if it was
Mm-hmm.
fake news, but Muse was said in it. And also, yeah, just I was also thinking like AI and the current climate of AI writing
Mm-hmm.
taking over from people, and the genuine enjoyment of writing
Yeah.
versus having something written for you kind of fell into that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of different things, as well as the political climate right now. So that's why I
Yeah.
was like, wow, this was just very filling and very like, oh, I need to sit back and just kind of digest this for a little bit
Yeah.
when I read this story. So I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed it.
And apparently, and I may be misquoting Mark a little bit, but I thought I read somewhere in his chats or somewhere
Hmm.
that this is actually based on something real that happened to him. I think not the whole possessive, thing, but
I mean,
maybe.
it really
Yeah.
wasn't possession though, because
Yeah.
it never wrote by itself.
Yeah.
It
He had to
never
touch it
there
first.
there always was, and in the mind of a crazy writer, do you write the stories?
Not really. It's up
They
there
write themselves. Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you're
They
just
write
pulling them down.
themselves. It's, and I know that's what it was like when I wrote my
Mm-hmm.
book. I write very differently to
Yeah.
Angela. Angela just kind of does. Whereas I was trying to, with my longer fantasy story, I was trying to put it out, boom, 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 boom. But then my characters just started doing things that they weren't supposed
Yeah.
to. And I was like, what the hell, man? Like no, you're meant to
Yeah.
go this way. It's like, no, we're going this way. This is
Oh,
happening now.
I love it when they do that.
It's enjoyable and it's exciting, but it's also annoying because I kind of want to bring it
Mm-hmm.
back to like how does A go to B then? Oh well,
Oh, trust it.
it can go out wide, it can come back,
Mm-hmm.
but
But then look at this tangle that happened up over here. Now
yeah,
you've got like a whole new, yeah.
yeah,
So I love it. I
yeah,
do feel like I've said this like a million times, so everybody who has heard this is like, ugh, rolling their eyes. Fair, you can do that. But I think like writers, we get to be like mediums, and we are literally connecting to something outside of ourselves, like universes that already exist.
yeah.
And then we're just pulling them in through our planchette and our, letter boards or whatever
Meat coffin.
into the keyboard, whatever we're working on. Could be an old typewriter.
Yeah,
Not for me, Mark. Love you and the story, but I do have a vintage typewriter, and I find that thing so obnoxious.
uh huh,
I mean, like,
yeah.
it's maybe I just need to oil it.
No, you like efficiency and
Yeah.
like speed and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. You like the story as opposed to the feel of it. So
Mhm.
and that's the thing. You got to have beefy fingers if you want to
Oh,
type
yeah.
right.
I don't have beefy fingers.
You got little hands.
Yeah.
But
So,
what were your other thoughts on this?
oh, I really loved it. I kind of want to go to a craft thing that you were talking about in the beginning, how you kind of came into the story and you didn't need a lot of description of who these people were.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, like a super important craft thing. When you're coming in, if you're describing your characters, and we see it a lot in stories, that it'll
Yeah.
be like, it was a blonde who this and
Yeah.
that, and she had, shade of coral
Uh-huh.
lipstick and blue eyeshadow, whatever the character is. If that doesn't have anything to do with the story, exit out, delete it, because it just drags it
Yeah,
down,
especially for
in
Flash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for Flash.
Yeah.
And in all stories, at the end of the day, are we not trying to
Mhm.
like? Am I not that character?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the thing, is if you describe the protagonist too much,
Mhm.
that's not me.
Yeah. If
So
blue eyeshadow
yeah,
makes a difference in the story, include it.
yeah,
But if it doesn't, then just exit out, because
yeah.
it is wasted words. That's my opinion, my crafty opinion.
Your crafty opinion.
I'm so crafty.
Very, very crafty.
But yeah, I
Alrighty.
do love that Mark's story, you're immediately immersed in it. You're there, you're experiencing it as it's written.
Alrighty, you can read this.
All right, this Mark Leslie writes urban fantasy, horror, and true ghost stories, including the famous Canadian werewolf series, One Hand Screaming, 20 Haunting Years, and Ghost Stories of the Great Lakes. This is why I always want to be friends with Mark, because he's like a ghost story guy. And like, I love that. So, Ghost Stories of the Great Lakes is coming in October. The typewriter in this story is real. It was gifted by a fellow author at a chance meeting in a brewery in St. John, New Brunswick. Mark has enjoyed returning to an analog keyboard, loving the tactile experience of the crafting typewriter poetry. We see this is where we're different. And so far, the typewriter he has taken into possession has not taken possession of him nor his muse. You can find Mark online at markleslie.ca.
There you go.
He's one of our Canadians.
Ah.
A Canadian.
A Canadian.
Yeah.
Well, it was set in Canada. And
Yeah.
it had the feel of Ireland. And I was like, where are we? We're in Canada. We're in Ireland.
Any damp bar. But you could probably find one of those damp kind of warm, damp day, warm bar experience, afternoon drinking here in Brazil.
Oh, you can find them in a lot of different locations in the winter on the beach.
Yeah. But awesome story, Mark. Thank you for sending that.
And if you want to go ghost hunting, Angela's got a really good graveyard that you can come and visit.
I am all about it. Let's go.
Scary haunted graveyard that I think is down the hill from a mental institution and or a prison. I think both.
A mental institution is much like a prison in many ways.
Yes.
But so the reason why it's on a hill, this is what we're told, but we do want to go there. I say we want to go there, but the reason why the institution is on a hill is so that they could roll the bodies down the hill, and then the graveyard is kind of like a very spooky, haunted, nasty place at the bottom of the hill. We got to go there. Yeah,
and I don't do ghost things because I get bored.
That's why we got to go.
Yeah.
So
all right. So I think this was the one. The Unmasked Self by Michael Bailey. So what were your thoughts on this poem?
I really love it. Sometimes poetry comes in. I think I've said this before. It's nice to have clarity. I love a poem that just says what it needs to say instead of just packing it with like a lot of multi-syllable words. And sometimes and that's good. We don't always want to say the same syllable, same syllables, same adjectives, the same, we want to break it up.
Yeah.
I, for one, use dark way too many times. I have to actually go through my work and remove all the instances of dark.
Yeah.
But I think Michael said a lot of really good things here. His message is right there about the fake muse and kind of equating it to, this is the way I read it, like social media and the doom scrolling and the constant distractions we have, and then trying to unmask ourselves with our role in that.
Yeah.
And also the role of that fake muse. What is it trying to get from us? What is it extracting?
Yeah.
So.
No, all great points.
Yeah. So really, really good poem. Really loved it. And I thought the language, the construction, the poem was good. The meaning of the poem, what he's communicating, and then the construction of the poem, the words communicated it perfectly.
Yeah, and I do agree. Like sometimes you just we have too much of a relationship with our thesaurus, and you think, this word doesn't make me sound intelligent.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, writing is not meant to be intelligent. It's meant to communicate.
Yeah. Are we here to?
What's the purpose?
To sound important and super smart, or to communicate?
Yeah,
I think it communicate.
Because what is the average reading level in America now? Like, it's dropped, I believe.
Yeah, back when I was in newspapers, we were told to write for an 8th grade education, and I recently heard that now is a 5th grade education that you're taught to write for.
Yeah, so be aware of
Reading
this
level.
when you're grabbing your thesaurus and trying to sound smart, because communication is getting more and more difficult with reduced attention spans. As well.
Nothing wrong with thesauruses, and I use them myself, and I love it.
Yes,
but I do want to point out one of his. I love this. But every gift came stitched with little hooks beneath the velveteen. So reminds me of the first time I got on TikTok. I was like, "What is TikTok, anyways?" Ooh, do you remember that? And then I just wanted to see what is TikTok, so I downloaded it, and then I blacked out. I lost time. And then you came up and it was pitch dark suddenly.
Uh-huh.
And you were like, what are you doing? And I was standing, I had stood up to leave the room, but check on what is this TikTok thing. And I was still there scrolling, probably like 2 or 3
Probably
hours.
standing in a corner so then you could like lean up against the corner, and I'm like, you're doing that creepy child thing again, Angela. Standing in a corner going, ooh.
Swipe, swipe,
Yeah.
swipe. Yeah,
All
so
that
that's what it
dopamine.
reminded me of, the little hooks beneath the velveteen, because I was definitely entertained.
Yes.
Cannot remember a single thing that I watched.
No.
None
No.
of it made an impact.
No.
Which I think is kind of going to all of these, like the Mark story, that
Yeah.
it is, like AI can technically, I guess, be a great writer. Like there's no mistakes in it,
Yes.
but the stories pass through without any kind of individuality, any kind of human marker, and we don't remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's the thing as well, as like one of the I would say one of the big issues with that as well is just because it's good for the masses doesn't mean it's actually good.
Yeah.
Like hard to describe. It's
Yeah.
you know, you don't get cult classics by following everybody else, and
Yeah.
that's what a lot of this is.
Yeah, no
No.
Harlequin romance ever. And probably somebody's going to point out that I'm wrong, but I'm going to say no Harlequin romance ever has been changed somebody's life, stood the test of time, is remembered 20, 50 years later. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're easy velveteen hook
Yeah.
entertainment,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, you need to have something unique. You need to have something different
Yeah.
that makes it good. And everything's been written under the sun, but you can twist.
Yeah.
You can always change it up.
Yeah, like only you have the particular wound and experience and obsessions and weirdness that makes you you to influence whatever that story is. That probably, yes, has already been told somewhere.
Exactly.
You can always tell because you write your story that you know is super individual and unique, and somebody will 100% say, oh yeah, that's like such and such story, and you'll
Damn
look it
it.
up and you're like, what the heck?
But this came from my brain. All right. Did we want to talk about any of our sponsors on this
Yes.
issue?
Yeah, and I've kind of been forgetting. I think last week we did talk about Pixie Bruner's book that's coming up. Oh wait, no, we didn't. Maybe
We
we
didn't.
did. But this is Less the Horror Than the Grace, which is a great book. I'm actually reading this right now. Coming up from Robert Owens Scott, and that is releasing August 18th. I was going to say, I believe in August, but there's the date right there.
Yes.
This is a fantastic story, and like I said, I haven't finished it yet, but it's set in Tennessee during a lot of the suffragette kind of era, and so he's got like a lot of it. You know, it's history that we've all heard, and it passes through. You know what I mean? Like I didn't experience that history. So reading it, and from this point of view of somebody like in the mountains, and they're doing the whole like faith healers, like all that kind of stuff, has been really, really super interesting. So I am loving this book.
Yeah, I like this here. Scott's novel is not interested in any easy categories. It is a historical fiction with teeth, religious horror with feminist pulse, an Appalachian Gothic steeped in dread, desire, and power. Medusa haunts these pages not as a simple monster, but as an image of beauty, rage, punishment, protection, and survival.
Yeah.
So that's kind of good.
Yeah, this is, I know you can't read it yet because it's not out yet.
Yeah.
But on August 18th, and I think the address where you can go to pre-order it, it's on Amazon, you can pre-order it. It's there. It is definitely something that you want to read. If you like anything like this horror, with some, like, I'm actually learning a lot about that period in history.
Yeah. No, it's a really interesting, like everything that I just read there is just, that's very, very cool.
Yeah, super good book.
Yeah.
So really good job, Robert Owen Scott, and
Thank you for being a sponsor.
yeah, absolutely. And this one thing that keeps space and time going.
Are we saying more sponsors? Or are we going to leave that for next week?
Yeah, well, we can scroll through them so everybody can see them, and then Specpoverse, we've had in here before because we like supporting part of our speculative universe, which is what they do over there. It's Miguel O, which I believe was in, my issues are mixing up in my head, but I want to say last issue, the Light the Beacons issue in April or May. I think it was May. But anyways, yeah, so he's been in here before, and you'll probably see this sponsor again because, like I said, we really like supporting. There's not just room for one speculative story, book, magazine. There is.
We help
we
each
need
other out.
Yeah, exactly.
The more creativity, the better.
Mm-hmm.
You can help each other out. You can
Yeah, so you'll see
hold each
Spec
other up.
Poverse again. Also, go check out Spec Poverse because they're doing some really good work over there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
The Altruist.
yeah, we got The Altruist, which is edited by Notching T. Kaza. It's actually celebrating its 6-month anniversary this with the July issue.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, and Notching does all of this independently, but she does do it from the viewpoint, reporting on a lot of the Opportunities community, which if you would like to be a part of the Opportunities community, it's free. And it's just basically a bunch of writers that get together and we talk about books and support each other and share. And it has been really, really awesome. I have seen poets, you know how hard it is to get people to look at your book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it's your first book. As soon as you get in there and you've got people working with you and everything, then they are supporting each other. And I have seen first poet books go from people who actually didn't really have a large following go to #1 on Amazon. So I think that is like the power of community. And one of the reasons we wanted to start the Opportunities Hub community is because when you look at different powerful artistic movements, like I'll say like Soho and Impressionism, things like that, it was always a group of people. It was a little small community that got together, that supported each other, that bounced off of each other and made something bigger than themselves.
Yeah.
So.
And success of one is success of all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and for our next sponsor, I actually can continue that idea about bouncing off of each other. So yeah, go check out The Altruist, though, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But Poems to Be Afraid Of by Pixie Bruner. So this is a pretty eclectic and disturbing. That's why it's got the all triggers warning. If you have a trigger, it's probably in this book. And that's intentional. That's why you have the warning.
Yeah.
But if you like that kind of challenging self-evaluation, face your fears, face other people's fears, face all the fears, it's in this book.
Or just skip the chapter that scares you.
Yeah, you can just page so you go, ooh,
you can always come back. You're like,
I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, so I'm gonna skip that. And
yeah. See, she didn't put a poem about a wet Band-Aid in there, so I'm cool.
Yes.
That's like my only kryptonite.
Such a weird phobia, but I guess all phobias are weird.
Are weird. Yeah, there's a weirdness to it. But one of the things going to the community and how we bounce off each other is, so I do like to put together like little photo collages. I just find it fun.
Yeah.
So Pixie and I were going to do a few of those for her book.
Yeah.
And so I started out, I think Friday, I was like, oh, good. Now that I have this big editing job out of the way, I can actually go in there and have a little fun with Pixie's book. I actually don't remember how many poems are in it, but we decided to do a photo collage for each one. I think we're on, I don't know. There's a lot of, and each page is a unique one. So if it's 2 pages for a poem, which most of them are 2 to 4 pages, each page got a separate thing. And so it has
48 hours later.
It has been. I've been super into it, but when I was doing that, I was like realizing how much I love that.
Yeah.
And so we're doing almost like a reverse ekphrastic, where her poems are inspiring me to create these visual collages.
Yeah.
So it has been, and then I was like, man, I should just do that all the time because I really love it.
That's called being an artist. When you read or you listen to some music and you're like, oh, I need to do some art on that. It's not new. You're not unique. That's what artists do.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of the community. We're like bouncing off of each other and creating something bigger than both of us.
It's like really weird. I got emotional feelings from this poetry or like this song, and I just had to express it in art form. Is this new? Am I strange?
And we're triggering each other. So I actually sent one to Pixie last night. I was like, okay, I may have gone too far. If this triggers you, then we will change this artwork.
Okay.
And so a couple of the responses are, yes, it triggered me. Let's move on. but it's perfect. Let's
Okay.
move on.
Yeah. Okay.
It is really turning out to be a very cool book. It is now going to be in full color. And
Yeah, because she did so much work on it.
yeah. There's some
Yeah.
really amazing. Well, she's got the Chroma series of poems in there too, which is all phobias of colors.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I was just gonna make those colored,
Yeah.
but nah, the whole book. You
Okay.
cannot have grayscale blood and
Uh-huh.
gore. Okay, that's your warning.
Yeah. All right.
So anyway,
Awesome.
very excited about this. It releases on the 22nd of July
Yeah.
from Opportunities
And,
Press.
and you can pre-order it here if you would like to check it out. I think that goes to that.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, it should. But you can
Yeah.
also just go to opportunitiespress.com. We have 202 books. Most of those are back issues of Space and Time, but a good 50 or so of those are new books and books that we are republishing that are out of print right now that deserve more paper. Those are all coming by September 3rd.
Yeah.
I say
so-
very optimistically.
Yeah. It's a lot of work as long as you don't continue with all of your pictures. and,
Yeah, we've got 10 more to
Pixie
go on
stuff.
Pixie's book, and then,
Yep.
yes, we can move on.
We can move on. All right. That is it for us today. Thank you, everybody, for checking in and saying hello.
Yeah.
We hope that this has been an interesting little focus on some of the stories and the poetry in Space and Time magazine. If you would like us to talk about your stories or your poetry in the future, submit to Space and Time. We're always wanting more poetry, more writing, different perspectives of different things. So when is 153 opening for submissions if we haven't already?
153, I think, is the one we just closed on. So we always open it the first of the month for
we're
1
ahead.
week.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're ahead now.
Yeah, so we'll be
Officially.
opening for 154, I believe, on the 1st of August.
So 1st of August, put that in your
Yeah.
calendars. And what is the prompt this time?
I will have to look it up, but I believe, I want to say it's the Hermit is the tarot card, and Sharpen Your Tools, but I believe that was August's. I think that's the one we just closed.
Yeah, we
but-
did a bit of a mix around because now we're a month ahead, so that we can keep up on it. But yeah, keep an eye out, and yeah, we'll hopefully get a lot of awesome submissions.
Yeah, if you
It's
go to
been going really well.
opportunitiespress.com and click over on the Space and Time home link, that you'll be able to find all the submission calls there, and you can see what they are.
Perfect. All right. We love your faces. We will see you next time. This time next week, talking some more on issue 152.
Yep, still on one issue. Still
That's
on one.
okay,
So I'm a writer, not
All right.
not a worder.
We'll catch you later, guys.
Bye. Thanks
Bye.
for joining us.